with We First. I'm joined by Sherinian, VP of Communications for the UN Foundation. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your work at the Foundation and what it does to mobilize citizens and consumers to do good.
We at the UN Foundation believe that we live in an era where everyone has a role and a chance to really help the UN build a better world. And in years like 2015, when people are focused on making progress on global goals and making sure the world is collaborating together, we know there are people, whether they're moms, whether they're kids, whether they're leaders of business, or whether they're leaders of communities, everyone has a chance to help the UN create a better world.
Speaking of creating a better world, share some of the storytelling insights you gleaned with the remarkable success of the upcoming Givingtuesday.
Givingtuesday has been a joy, and it's been a reminder that people want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves and that's bigger than just their community, and their community can contribute. We saw an increase last year in online donations of a remarkable more than 90%. That tells us something. That tells us that people want to give back, and that there's a lot of opportunity out there for creativity when it comes to talking about giving and philanthropy. It also teaches us that philanthropy is being democratized. That means you don't have to be a billionaire anymore to support a cause. And it means that there's greater giving out there, where people want to give to organizations they know more about, they want to track what those resources do, and they want to be aligned with them all year long, not just when they write a check.
Tell us about the steps you took to encourage the great crowdsourcing towards the Millennium Development Goals.
The UN has done a remarkable thing. They have leveraged the power of technology, and we as supporters of the UN have viewed this process as very important, because the Millennium Development Goals and the post-2015 conversation about what happens between 2015 and the next 15 years has allowed us to poll people via social media, through new media, through mobile phones, to ask them what they want their leaders focused on. And that has been a remarkable process. The My World initiative has allowed people to vote from everywhere in the world, and there have been millions of people who have said, I want my voice heard, I want it on the record that I told my leaders what I care about, and that also invites brands, it invites communities, it invites celebrities, it invites everyone to be part of that initiative.
What were some of the most surprising findings around that?
For me, I love the continuity that everyone wants to make sure that their kids get a good education. I love hearing the continuity that people are focused on making sure that girls everywhere have a chance to be counted, to be valued, to be empowered and protected. I love that wherever you go in the world, that those are areas of focus. People care about the health of their children. People are worried about our climate. So those are a lot of things, but they're reassuring to me, because that means we're all part of a global family that's focused on an opportunity, some problems, but a really great year to make some progress.
Now, with all the companies doing such good work around purposeful giving, philanthropic pursuits, sustainable initiatives, what advice would you give companies to stand out?
First and foremost, I would ask companies to be very loud and very deliberate about telling the story of purpose in their organizations. And that's not just donations they make, that's also what they do with their employees. I've learned so much from companies who have said, I have to walk the talk, not just externally, but with my employees. And ask your employees what they care about, because they have a good sense about how your brand aligns with causes. These are people who support their churches, they support soup kitchens, they support global charities, they support things local and global. So when companies ask their employees to be part of that conversation, they're getting some valuable insight, and they're really making sure that their organizations are moving as a whole.
You're on the front lines of storytelling. Could you share with our audience perhaps some things you've learned along the way, a mistake or a victory, something we can learn from you?
I won't mention any of the particular names, but one mistake that I think all of us can learn from is that you have to recognize and thank your partners in real time. And we, in certain initiatives and campaigns that we've been a part of, it's so easy to see the big results and the big numbers that are part of an initiative, but you've got to take a moment and thank the people who donate, and thank the partners that make something possible. Everyone wants to be part of a movement, and in that you need to make sure that individuals are being recognized. Another thing that I think is important is that oftentimes we in a social media world are so obsessed with getting out the information quickly that we forget that new media is a stream. You have to repeat. You have to give people the chance to hear messages, sometimes more than once, because otherwise they'll feel ignored. Otherwise they'll feel that you ignored it. So in this new media era, I think it's important that you not worry so much about being redundant, but making sure that you're being responsive. And that includes sometimes repeating results, It's good for accountability, it's good for transparency, and it's great for thanking your supporters.
Yeah, I think the repeat statement is very relevant. I mean, Twitter is it's like the ticker tape of the new world. Now, finally, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to brands looking to build their social purpose, what would that be?
The piece of advice today that I would give brands is that we're looking at a year in 2015 that's unprecedented. We're looking at a year where the United Nations, where organizations large and small are coming together to recalibrate where we are on the big global issues of health, poverty, girls and women, climate and the environment, water and sanitation, education. I think that advice is, if you are not part of that conversation, you're not fully taking advantage of the power of your organization's ability to impact change. If you're not part of the conversation, it's also going to be noticed. Let's make sure we're all part of that winning team and that army for global good that's the potential of 2015.
Aaron Sherinian, thank you for your contribution and for your time today.
Thank you.
Wow.